For 3 months we've chased mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle, the Alaska Triangle, the Lake Michigan Triangle, Skinwalker Corridor, the Devil's Sea. We've searched for monsters. We've searched for disappearances. We've searched for strange lights in the sky. We've searched for answers. But something happened along the way. The deeper we went, the more every mystery started looking the same. Different locations, different legends, different cultures, yet the same questions. And eventually, I realized there may be one final triangle left to investigate. Not on any map, or hidden in the ocean, or buried in the wilderness, but hidden in the tomb itself. Good Wednesday evening and welcome back to From the Tomb with Cadoom. I am your host, Cadoom. We decided to break up the Triangle Files finale into 3 parts. Tonight, we recap what we've already gone over. We learn the pattern that's led us to where we are now. We go over what's got us here. We reflect on where we've been. Next week, we cover the geographical triangle that is the Cadoomed Triangle. The week after that, we fill the gap. We build the bridge to phase 2 of Cadoomed, with why the pattern developed the way it did, the mentality, the philosophy, the feelings behind the Cadoomed Triangle, behind Cadoomed overall, and what is going to lead us into phase 2 as a breakdown. There will be a lot of hints over the next 2 weeks about what's coming in phase 2, including today. So pay attention. You might just learn something. So, let's start this journey on this recap. We've already investigated 10 different anomalous regions around the world. Lake Michigan Triangle, the Alaskan Triangle, the Bridgewater Triangle, Bennington Triangle, Lake Erie Triangle, the Devil's Sea in Japan, the Nevada Triangle, Skinwalker Corridor, and the High Desert Anomaly Line. Now, we learn what all of those have in common besides the obvious, besides what we've covered in the episodes themselves. We learn what might tie these locations together in energy and our minds. These are obviously different locations that have been linked for a reason. Tonight we ask, why do places separated by thousands of miles keep producing the same stories? First, why don't we take a look at the disappearance pattern? Across multiple triangles, like Lake Michigan, Nevada, Alaska, and Bermuda, everything disappears. People, ships, planes, groups just vanish without a trace, never to be seen again. Is it something deeper? Is it something connecting these locations that draw energy to them and bring us to these places so that the vulnerable fall victim to the location itself? The locations are always different, but the circumstances are almost always the same. Equipment malfunctions, communication failure, until the inevitable happens, and they're just gone. Do these places connect? Or is it our minds and the intrigue and the wonder that build the gap? What makes us not be able to understand these different locations? What makes it so many more things disappear in these just geographical triangles or corridors? Why are we so curious that we keep exploring and keep adding to the mystery? Think about it. The more the lore builds, the more mysterious it gets, and the more curious people will become. But when does it stop? When do we quit building the lore? When do people quit going to try and find out what's going on and disappearing? Is it really the fact that the places are connected? Or are humans simply drawn to the mystery? And that will forever keep these legacies alive. Which brings us to the second thing, the second piece of the puzzle, the Watchers. The things like the Dogman and Bigfoot and Skinwalkers. The things lurking in the forest that you can't see, but you might glimpse. Red eyes in the distance, glowing yellow eyes in a video frame, a shimmer on a human being when there shouldn't be. You never know what the sign might be. But so many of the locations we've covered contain those same signs. And not only are there the entities that we've covered that we know about, there are so many more that we may never find, in our lifetimes anyway. The names change, the stories might change, where they come from, why, how they look might change, the descriptions, how people react might change. But people always feel watched in the locations we're covering. Is it a good thing? Are we being protected from the anomalies that would hurt us? Or are we being stalked? Are we prey to them? Do they watch us from a distance until they can attack? What is it about these isolated places that creates these stories? Do people lose their minds? Are there legitimate geographical anomalies? We may never know. But we keep uncovering the pattern and exploring the tomb. And that leads us to talking about the lights in the darkness. The UFOs, the strange aerial objects, the glowing orbs, the unexplained lights. We've seen them across the Skinwalker corridor and the high desert anomaly region, the Devil's Sea, and the Great Lakes. We've seen things like the Paulding lights and objects moving in flash motion. The same lights in different places at different times, seen by different people. Cultures that have never interacted, telling the same stories, passing down the same legends. Why? Why does this keep happening? What is it about these regions? Or is it the regions at all? Because I think it's us. I think it's our minds not letting us let go of things. Our minds not simply being able to not understand. We have to have a reason. We have to have logic behind it. We have to know. Now, speaking of lights in the darkness, this brings us to our first hint of the day. My studio space will be complete before the night is over. The recording space, anyway. Things are a work in progress because personal life gets in the way for everybody. We all have our tombs, but we can all escape them. The recording space is crucial. Multiple arms of Cadoomed are going to be launched in phase 2. The studio altogether needs to follow for some of those arms. But that takes us into the folklore connection behind the Triangle Files. So many stories that we've covered predate modern technology, indigenous legends, historical folklore, regional stories. Yet, they're so similar? How can they be so similar with such different cultures? We're not just talking the difference between Lake Michigan and Lake Erie anymore. We're talking the difference between the deserts in the western U.S. and the ocean in Japan. The difference between Lake Erie and the rural mountain woods. Yes, the stories differ slightly. The names, the descriptions, but at the base, the foundations of this story, they're the same. These stories survive for generations, being passed down amongst ourselves. Which brings me again to the point. Is it the regions or is it our minds? What keeps these things alive? What keeps these legends alive? It's gotta be us. It's gotta be the fact that we can't stop until we know. No matter how much it hurts us, no matter how many people disappear, no matter how many things happen, we'll never stop until we know about these regions. But maybe, just maybe, we can watch from a distance and learn about ourselves and put an end to the need to keep growing these legends of disappearances and mysteries. Before we get into the real common denominator behind all of these regions, let's talk about what's going to keep Cadoomed alive during Phase 2. First of all, we're shifting focus here. It might be a little obvious with how this day is going so far. We're going to start looking at ourselves a little bit more. We're going to start trying to make the world a better place by pointing out things that bother me. I'm going to talk a little crap. I'm going to get a little vulgar. The publicly available stuff will all be edited. The raw versions will be behind memberships. We're going to add streaming, different kinds of streaming, gaming, behind the scenes, live events, sales, who knows? We might do live auctions even. There's so many different things we'll be able to do once this studio is done. There's multiple pieces of business equipment being added. There have been things that have been teased for months that none of you have even realized. Ripped beyond recognition is not just a saying on a hat. The Cadoom card crypt you've already seen pieces of. There are so many different things that are going to be added. And not just products. Not just things to watch. Services. We're going to build a community. We're going to help each other. We're going to make this world a better place one step at a time. There's 7 pillars and 3 eternal missions to Cadoomed. And I think the world would benefit if we could all look at them a little bit differently. That being said, let's get into the real common denominator and wrap this one up for you guys. Every investigation had mystery. People disappearing, unknown animals, ghost ships, equipment failures, aliens. But it wasn't just mystery. It was fear, because we fear the unknown. And the mystery makes us search for answers and builds our curiosity until it can't be contained. And we must search for the answers. We create the stories. We hunt the logic. We hunt the cryptids. We hunt the stories. We pass them down for generations and generations and generations. Some of these stories are hundreds of years old. But then there's the ones that go out and actually investigate. Some of them are prepared. Some of them make it back. But others just add to the legacy and the legend that gets passed down and continues the vicious cycle of our mentalities, building the legacies for these triangles. So maybe, just maybe, the most important discovery wasn't what we found hiding in the triangles. It was what we found the triangles were hiding about us. Phase 2 will teach us how we can start changing that more and more and more. No matter our situation, no matter our tomb, we can all escape it. Now, we do have one final triangle to investigate. The patterns revealed something to me and to Lucas that we couldn't let go of. It's too close to home. It's too close to us. We know people that have been involved in this triangle. It isn't Bermuda. It isn't Alaska. It isn't Lake Michigan. It may be something entirely different. Maybe it's not even a triangle. Maybe it starts as a triangle and branches off into nodes across the whole state. Next week, we begin exploring the Cadoomed Triangle. Cadoomed Triangle Part 2. Exploring the Tomb. Coming next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep it twisted, escape your tomb, and the tomb remembers. Have a good night.